with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's Good Morning
Bay.
Good morning,
Bay.
आप सभी लोग हमें तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार.
वणक्कम,
Namaskara.
खुश आमदी,
Assalamualaikum.
सत श्री अकाल,
మీ అందరికీ వందనము.
जय स्वामी नारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जी जिनेंद्र,
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोलते हैं याली मदद.
मौला अली मदद बोलते हुए सारे फीजी मतलब बोलेंगे नीसा बुला बंदजान. हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारा. मैं से फालतू बाबा
And of course myself फालतू रानी लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time that's going to make it totally exciting and totally मस्तानी बन जाने.
That's right, बंदजान. Of course आज है 447th day of our sheltering in place. हाँ मैं गिनती रखा हूँ बंदजान. Actually we're keeping track of the days. Yeah, because June 15th is supposed to be a time when everything is going to open up. Another week's time actually, and कब तक, you know, how it's going to happen, because there's rumors spreading around here saying that, you know, Governor Newsom is asked to again extend sheltering in place. Nah, as far as my knowledge goes, news from other places and also directly from the horse's mouth, it's supposed to be June 15th is the date for everything to open up, Banajan. So we are excited about it, and of course same time be careful not to misuse the freedom. Be responsible and make sure you are masking, and if you are in doubt, start asking questions, the right questions for sure. And right here on your favorite network, Radio Hot Eves, airing live on local radio, Mirchi 1310 AM, will give you the news which you require and also the information that you need, because we are keeping a close eye on this as well. It's very important because to us, our community's health is very, very important. So hence you will see us actually be taking additional step to actually understand and learn more about these things. तो यहाँ पे अगर आपको कॉल करना है तो you can always call studio number 4089122479. but अभी के लिए आपको मालूम है, it's time for me to go and take a look at what's happening in the road. रास्ते का हाल जो हम लोग आपको देते हैं टोटल सस्ते में.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
That's right, Banjan. The traffic update for you guys for today is going to be pretty much what's happening in the northern part of the Bay Area, Banjan. In fact, Berkeley and Oakland has a little bit of backup. It's very sluggish traffic in Berkeley area, Banjan. 80, I'm talking about westbound east of the Ashby Avenue. Because of an accident over there, the backup is all the way from Richmond area, all the way El Cerrito se leke Berkeley tak. There's a backup over there, which is it's being created because of the accident over there. Similarly, traffic has been reported on 880 northbound north of the 7th Street in Oakland. And sluggish traffic as usual on the bridge 80 getting onto the bridge, actually that's towards the Oakland side, not towards San Francisco. And the CHP reporting in hazard on 280 southbound south of the Shizu Chavez in southern San Francisco, so watch out for that. The highway advisory on 101 northbound and southbound on the Golden Gate Bridge, but I don't see any other warnings on the other parts of the bridge for sure. It's going to be a pretty hot day for us, Banjan. It's not, well, actually, no, it's not going to be a pretty hot day. It's going to be a pretty day because the upper 60s is where we have the numbers right now. It doesn't mean it's not going to be, it's going to be sunny all the way. It's going to be having no clouds around the skies. So that's good, right? That's wonderful weather for us here, at least inland in our Bay Area. Banjan, San Jose, Santa Clara, Fremont, all those places. So probably you might be, some of the kids actually already are on the summer break right now. So planning your trips, probably, yes. And if you're planning it, please plan responsibly. Make sure you're carrying sufficient PPEs, and though you might be tempted to see the people walking around in masks, thoda bahut aap pehn lo to acha hai, even if you gotten vaccinated, it's no harm for a couple of more days, right? No, a few more days actually, since everything opens up. That was the update of what's happening with the traffic and also what's happening with the weather, Balajan. So a quick look at now what's happening with the news, with our local news and also international news. Faltwani is ready at the news desk of Media Mahima.
Well, Banajan, let's tell you that if you're planning for a summer vacation, it is time. Well, you can actually start taking your cruise vacations again, because the first big cruise ship is now allowing North American passengers since the pandemic shut the industry down altogether, and it has set sail. That's right, Banajan. Celebrity Millennium, part of the Celebrity Cruises line owned by Royal Caribbean Group, sailed from Phillipsburg, St. Martin, with paying passengers on Saturday at 10:30 p.m. Royal Caribbean has not held cruises since March of 2020. Today, we sail again. This is such a significant moment for our company, our industry, and the Caribbean that this day has finally arrived, that our guests and our crew are truly special beyond words, really, said Lisa Lutoff-Perillo, President and CEO of Celebrity Cruises. So you can start planning those cruise lines again, but considering how things marinated on cruise ships and how people were stranded for the longest time, I don't know how many people would have the courage or the pluck to be able to go on.
Yeah, definitely. After the choice of words you used, people are going to wonder.
Yeah.
Marinated. The only things I remember marinated is is after it comes into tandoor. After marination,
Alto Baba style.
goes with tandoor, nicely roasted chicken.
Okay, let's get out of the food fetish right now, Alto Baba, and let's go into what is news. U.S. regulators today approved Biogen Inc.'s aducanumab as the first treatment to address an underlying cause of Alzheimer's disease, despite controversy over mixed clinical trial results for the drug. The aducanumab aims to remove sticky deposits of a protein called amyloid beta from the brains of patients in earlier stages of Alzheimer's in order to stave off its ravages, which include memory loss and the ability to care for oneself. This is good news for patients with Alzheimer's disease, and they're saying that they have not had a disease-modifying therapy approved ever. It is not a cure. It is hoped that this will slow the progression of the disease. But it is a big day. But Dr. Peterson, who is part of the Mayo Clinic, is actually saying that we can't overpromise. The FDA said clinical trials for the treatment to be sold under the brand name Aduhelm showed a reduction in the plaques that is expected to lead to a reduction of in the clinical decline of patients. So if you want to catch up on this story, Banjar, it's huge news because Alzheimer's is extremely rampant, at least in the South Asian community, Banjar. Alzheimer's and dementia, two different cases. And if you have attended any of our Health 360 expos, you'd have heard where the doctors talked about Alzheimer's almost being like type 3 diabetes, right, Alto Baba? It's a lot of people who have insulin resistance tend to develop Alzheimer's. So you could get more information about that on mediamahima.com. The U.S. Supreme Court actually blocks permanent residency for some residents. It refused to let immigrants who have been allowed to stay in the United States on humanitarian grounds apply to become permanent residents if they entered the country illegally, siding with President Joe Biden's administration. The justices, acting in an appeal by a married couple from El Salvador who were granted so-called temporary protected status, unanimously upheld a lower court ruling that barred their applications for permanent residency, also known as a green card, because of their unlawful entry. The case could affect thousands of immigrants, many of whom have lived in the United States for years. Biden, who has sought to reverse many of his Republican predecessor Donald Trump's hardline immigration policies, had opposed the immigrants in this case, placing the president at odds with immigration advocacy groups and some of his own fellow Democrats. This federal law, called the Immigration and Nationality Act, generally requires that people seeking to become permanent residents have been inspected and then admitted into the United States. At issue is the case where in this particular case was whether a grant of temporary protected status, which gives the recipient lawful status, satisfies those requirements. Writing for the court, Liberal Justice Elena Kagan said that because of a grant of TPS does not come with a ticket of admission, it does not eliminate the disqualifying effect of an unlawful entry. Foreign nationals can be granted temporary protected status if a humanitarian crisis in their home country, such as a natural disaster or an armed conflict, would make their return unsafe. There are about 400,000 people in the United States with this protected status, which prevents them from deportation and lets them work legally here. Amazon's billionaire founder, Jeff Bezos, is literally going out of this world. What does that mean? Well, he's going out into space, Banajan. He's going to leave Earth. He and his brother Mark are going to fly on the first crewed space flight from his rocket company Blue Origin next month. Ever since I was 5 years old, I've dreamed of traveling to space. On July 20th, I will take that journey with my brother Bezos, who is one of the richest people in the world, said in an Instagram post. Bezos, who is due to step down as Amazon's chief on July 5th, will join the winner of an auction for a seat on the first space flight from the Blue Origin. Oh
But
my
the thing is,
God.
they're going to go there and come back, right?
I hope so.
What do you mean you hope so?
Well, yeah, I
I think
hope
he's
so.
not going to go. I have a very strong feeling he's going to set course towards Mars or there.
Yeah.
I think he'll be the first person to claim the planet.
Oh, really? So that'll be
There's
the
always,
that'll be
Jeff,
the Amazon Mars, right?
Amazon Mars, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's going to be like, he's going to form a cult over there, call them as the Amazonians.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, Bezos, a few billionaires like Elon Musk and Richard Branson have been investing billions of dollars on their rocket startups, but Bezos will be the first of the three to actually travel into space on a rocket developed by his own company.
Of course, like, backyard. Right?
Yeah.
And probably I think Tesla is going to take over the moon.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shares of AMC Entertainment and other meme stocks supported by small-time individual traders jumped on Monday, extending gains into a third week as message boards hummed with hype about the potential to squeeze Wall Street short sellers. Market participants have told news sources that some Wall Street institutional investors are ramping up complex options trades to let them bet the shares will fall while keeping a lid on potential losses if they instead gain. Johnson & Johnson vaccine drive stalls out in the United States after a safety pause. Safety concerns about the Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine, along with overall flagging demand for vaccinations, have slowed its U.S. rollout to a crawl, leaving close to half of the 21 million doses produced for the United States sitting unused at this particular point in time. There is a video conferencing service. Video conferencing services have for years boasted that their technology is intuitive to use or integrated to function with other tools. But now vendors such as Google and Cisco can hardly go a blog post without trumpeting a different attribute, inclusive. The latest buzzword and the product development that accompanies it shows how tech companies are newly focused on assuring black users and other persons of color that online chat products will not leave them out in the cold. The changes stem in part of from the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement, which has prompted vendors and customers to think alike beyond the needs of the white English-speaking audience, and the pandemic, which created a large remote workforce heavily dependent on technology. So basically, Alphabet Inc.'s Google this month plans to deploy an artificial intelligence software feature that addresses the long-standing issue of darker skin tones being under-illuminated in video chats. Yeah, and Cisco is going to launch a gesture recognition feature to display a thumbs up in WebEx, taking pains to assure that skin tones would not affect performance.
Yeah, I always felt like a Simpsons family when I was on Zoom and other places.
Why? Because it's yellow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true, actually. I was wondering where I've seen that color. Anyway, but let's come to local news, Parjad. San Francisco City Hall will open to the public on Monday for the first time in 15 months, and most offices will be open for full service, officials said on Saturday. And also, BART is increasing train frequency as riders are beginning to return. They will add 26 more additional trips from Oakland to San Francisco. And caught on camera, there is a bear that was seen in the Discovery Bay neighborhood roaming in front of the houses early Sunday morning. You can see this. It's a beautiful video. It's walking between pickup trucks. The bear, look.
Oh, so sweet.
Oh, it is so cute. It's like, I mean, the bear looks cute, but I'd be terrified if it came in front of me. And then, of course, this is sad news, Jan. Napa County has reported its first death from COVID-19 in a fully vaccinated patient, according to a county spokesperson on Thursday. The woman, a Napa resident, died Wednesday, said Leah Greenbaum, a public information officer for Napa County. She was over 65 years of age and had underlying medical conditions and died from complications of COVID-19 after a prolonged hospitalization. The woman tested positive for the B117, which is the UK variant, which is a more transmissible disease and causes more severe illness. So That's the first news coming out about a patient who was fully vaccinated who passed away. So that was the news from across the United States and, of course, here locally in the Bay Area. We will bring you the world news shortly, Bandajan, but before that is a Gane Ka Kida.
That's right, Bandajan. Nice Gane Kida for you guys from the movie New York. The voice of KK, music by Preetham. Hey, Janu.
Na 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 यारों जी भर के झीले पल लगता है आजकल दौर अपना आएगा यारों जो खुद पे हो यकीन तो जिंदगी हंसी तुझे कल बुलाएगा यारों जी भर के झीले पल लगता है आजकल दौर अपना आएगा यारों जो खुद पे हो यकीन तो जिंदगी हंसी तुझे कल बुलाएगा.
And of course, Bandajan, a beautiful song from the movie New York, coming for you away from the studios of Media by Bandajan. Of course, this is Radio D Hotties production, Bandajan, exclusively airing on the airwaves of the Bay Area on 1310 AM and also 92.9 FM. Bandajan, of course, if you have any questions or if you want to advertise on our shows, just contact us on the phone number 408-660-6753. Chashuni Art, no, 660-6753. Bandajan, the number to call if you want to sponsor or you want to get your message across to our public here. Call that number 408-660-6753. And Abhi ke liye Bandajan, coming back to our news, which is going to be news from around the world for you guys. Falmoni, take it away.
That's right. A vote in Israel's legislature on approving a new government poised to unseat Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be held within a week, a parliament speaker said on Monday without setting a specific date. Naftali Bennett, the nationalist politician who would replace Israel's longest-serving leader, Netanyahu, actually called on Netanyahu on Sunday to let go and drop any efforts to encourage defections from the new coalition that could scupper its inauguration. Bennett urged Knesset Speaker Yariv Levin, a Netanyahu loyalist, not to delay and to hold the confidence vote this Wednesday so that the government of left-wing, rightist, centrist and Arab parties could be sworn in. A WHO official said on Monday that the WHO cannot compel China to divulge more data on COVID-19's origins, while adding that it will propose studies needed to take understanding of where the virus emerged to the next level. Pressed by a reporter on how the WHO will compel China into being more open, Mike Ryan, the director of the agency's emergency program, said at a press conference that the WHO doesn't have the power to compel anyone in this regard. We fully expect cooperation, input and support of all of our member states in that endeavor. In India, Bandajan, news that's coming out of India is that they're going to be providing free COVID-19 vaccines to all adults, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Monday, in an effort to rein in a pandemic that has killed hundreds of thousands and led to the world's second largest tally of infections. Modi's announcement on national television came after weeks of criticism of a bungled vaccine rollout that has covered fewer than 5% of India's estimated adult population of almost 950 million people. Health experts have warned that vaccination is the only way to protect lives from a third wave of infections after a surge in April-May overwhelmed hospitals in the big cities and in the vast hinterland. Modi said that the federal government would take over the vaccination program from the states from June 21st, reversing a policy under which states were running a part of it. And of course, the states are now beginning to thank the centre for accepting their request, and the Delhi government is crediting, of course, the Supreme Court for this particular decision, because several opposition ruled states had criticized the Modi government and had said that they're not addressing the pandemic and the vaccine rollout properly. So now this particular news is being received with a lot of encouragement from the states. 18 people were killed in a fire on Monday at a chemical factory in the western Indian city of Pune. Police said. The police also said that 20 people had survived the blaze, and the charred bodies of all those killed have now been recovered. An inquiry has been ordered by the district administration. The fire was at a plant where chemical manufacturer SVS Aqua Technologies makes products including hand sanitizers, local media reported. Footage showed a thick plume of smoke billowing out as this happened. In other news, let's tell you that Dilip Kumar Saab, there was some news that broke over the weekend that with regard to his health, and that he had succumbed to his ailment, but there is update from there that Sarah Banerjee has issued a statement saying that his health is stable and he is alive. So that is another news item that I just wanted to say. And of course, Maharashtra has reported 10,219 COVID-19 cases, which is the lowest since March 9th, and over 21,000 people have recovered. So more on all of this you'll find on MediaMahima.com. That's all we have time for this morning's Good Morning Bay. We'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Show. Have yourselves a magnificent Monday.
जो सच नहीं तो सच भला